Hello? Long time no see.
The main question is this Seoul hotel is still open or it's under construction or renovation or?
It's partially under construction. Construction and holidays. Of course, saying holidays when thinking we are actually making parallels with them being in army. Maybe it's strange to say. And also construction also, like they need to be repaired. But yeah, it's partially working. Something is changing there.
Now we're preparing for the grand opening.
We chose to speak in English because we're hoping that either J-Hope or any of them, and they will retire if that ever will happen, because I think we're gonna keep creating whole their lives. We're gonna listen for this podcast.
Yeah. They will be like 97.
So today our episode is about J-Hope's concert. Of course, we probably inevitably will talk about something else in BTS life, but yes, it's about the J-Hope concert live from Osaka, which we had opportunity to see in cinemas.
So what was your biggest highlights for you?
I think it was so strong and full with some strong moments that it's hard to distinguish only one. Mm-hmm. But he felt so strong the whole concert. And as we talked, that maybe some songs are not the ones which some of his new songs which I just saw in Instagram, or I didn't have time to dig deep in those songs, but they sounded so different on a stage. Like I would probably won't listen to them on the radio. Sorry for saying that. 97 years old J-Hope. But on a stage it's like wow. Yes.
On the stage it's like a flow. So I couldn't even feel when one song is over and now we transition to other songs.
I felt the same as in the whole concert. And then sometimes like, okay, so maybe it's a new song, another song. Oh no, it's still the same song. Wow. It was so beautiful. And also you looked so in it. And you at the same time like controlling it, but not control as a negative thing, like trying to hold on everything, but somehow it felt like everything was going from him, from the direction, like from his core, and that he saw everything. That was so amazing that he managed to see and hear some little moments. What does the fan say? Or if the fan was holding a poster that her birthday is today and he saw it. It's such a small piece. So he actually looks at those things. He looks at probably fans' eyes. It's not just passing the fans, just like, okay, we came up with this idea to do this on a concert. No, he's doing it seriously and sincerely. And every song and everything, like everything is so sincere, every moment. So I just imagine it should take a lot of energy from him. He's putting so much energy in that, but I think he's receiving a lot. So he's not leaving without empty battery. Yeah, for me, it was, very wow.
So for me also the feeling was the same. It's like if you want to see a person in a flow, like in like real flow, where everything is like structured and everything prepared and he knows what comes after that, but at the same time it's like he's doing it for the first time and he's very,
and also for the last time, like first time and last time. Yeah. That's why like this. That's why we thought that maybe will it be tomorrow another concert in Osaka or no, because he was doing it like the last time.
Yeah. And also I remembered one weird guy who was palm reader. I don't know if you remember. I think he was reading in like 2090s maybe. That was long before the rapper started to sing like in full blow. He was the older man and he was reading palms, knowing that those are BTS members. But it was obvious that for him, he just knows that they are famous singers and that's it. He doesn't know who is who. And when he was reading palms, he would say things that I would think, oh, okay, he read it in Wikipedia about this person, so he may think that, oh, for example, that Namjoon is very intellectual. And so. But then there was a poem of J-Hope, and he said, oh, this person, I see him being very creative. He will do well during his solo career. And that for me was like, nah. I don't know. Like, how J-Hope solo? So as a rapper, would you be able to foresee, like in 2018 or 2017, that he would be doing those massive solo concerts, doing world tour?
No, I didn't have a thought like that. Maybe also at that time, just I was seeing BTS as more whole thing. I wouldn't expect what's coming next, what are other stages of your career. No, I wouldn't think. But then his album came, Hope World. Then it was already like, wow. But of course, other members also had their solo albums and or like solo songs. But of course, I am very biased because he is my bias. But this album felt that is just the beginning. It's so much like there's so much more in J-Hope's world which he can show and tell. It's just very little grasp of his creative mind.
So I'm not biased. For me, the album was the same, and I remember because I went on the radio program to talk about his album because that was so unexpected. I still think that the producers have a very big impact on their music, and it really depends of what kind of producers are they collaborating with. And I can feel that maybe for me, the beginning, the first 5 years of BTS are more like I understand them more musically because the music with so many drops affects my brain much better than, for example, I don't know, songs like Dynamite or Butter. Butter. I don't know. But the album that J-Hope produced was something very different, and you could see that they will do their music like very independently. But I didn't know that he is such a good singer, and I didn't know that he is such a good performer being one on stage. It's like I didn't know that Suga will have a tour as a singer, as a bard or as a rock singer. And then this concert surprised me even more.
Since you talked about his voice singing, so I think in this concert his voice was very special. I don't know how was his voice in other concerts around the world before this one. He really improved it, grew in his voice. He knows how to like control it, and he feels the power of his voice. As we talked, like we've been in live concerts alive in Europe, in London and Paris when it was BTS tour. He performed the song Just Dance, and it was nice song. It was beautiful to watch it. And I didn't even think about the nuances of his voice, but now when we heard this song Just Dance in Osaka, such a big difference. And I wouldn't even think about that it can be so different. Very deep from his voice, very strong. So it feels like he feels very strong where he is. As he said, like he feels much more himself on a stage than he is behind the stage or not on a stage, and that feels in his voice. And I think it's very magical. But this it's not just a concept, not a concept that he was making for this concert tour, but it's actually for real.
Depthness of voice and the ability to go low, very low
and high. And high. It was some way like we went so high, very high note keys. Yeah.
And voice is the kind of the interface of personality or the stage of the psychological state that you are in. You cannot hide. Like you can put a makeup on you, but if you have a live concert, voice will show how are you feeling at this particular moment. So for me, it was such a relief to understand that the army, the military, those months in the military, they maybe even liberated him, and maybe not only him, maybe I will not be surprised if that would be for all of them. Maybe before the army they need to fit in certain, I don't know, not niche. For them maybe niche, it's not the question, but just to that there are some requirements for them, either from army or from the, I don't know, from musical world producers.
Yeah.
Yes. But now in this concert with this voice, I think that now they are making demands and they are making like how it's supposed to be. They know how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, so maybe it was kind of needed break because there was a lot of pressure, I think, on them before we went to army. We're supposed to go to army much time before, and I think waiting for that moment to come should be pretty exhausting. It's like we maybe prepared earlier, but no, we're not going there. We still have to make shows, even though it's nice to go on concerts, but I think it could have been very exhausting. And also it was this period of those songs which were probably not made by them in those last 2 years, maybe after those COVID years. So we were not so deep in those songs, and I think it looked like they had a hard time on their, I don't know, faces or on their real lives, especially.
And also I think it's connected with age, because when you are
even though I was very worried of them going into army because of what is like a very serious structure, wanted kill their creativity and put into like some frames, but maybe also it makes them feel again to appreciate what they have, because they had this break and total kind of disconnection from connection with army, connection with public.
That's what I was thinking, because when they left to military, they were in the 27, 28. This is a very difficult time when you need to, like, your mind breaks. You are removed from the center of the world. It's very good if you're married and you have children, then you are like naturally removed from the center. But if not, then you have the struggle, because you are kind of you're leaving the center, but but you feel the panic, like you thought you need to be in the center. You need to achieve something. Or no, you don't need to. So you understand that you are a mediocre person, like you're just average person, even if you are, I don't know, millionaire and very creative, but you still feel that you are just a person. And I know that for people, for men, for women, it could be really dramatic if they don't have children. But now when, for example, he returns from the army and you feel this kind of power, the military is nonsense. And to be in such a nonsensical structure for 2 years almost, I think it gives you perspective. It's what you say, that you start to appreciate. Even you thought that maybe this musical world is nonsense, and you can be really frustrated because this musical world is nonsense. But what you can do, like, it's the only thing that you can do. So what are you going to do? What's my sense of life? And then you go to spend 2 months in such an absurd, stupid structure where 2 years. Then maybe you can feel that, okay, this musical world is maybe also nonsense, but not that much of a nonsense. I don't know.
Totally agree. I wonder if you and other members will ever be able to share their real thoughts
about army
and the experience, because it's such a sensitive thing in Korea, South Korea. I wonder if they will ever be able. I mean, but I think there was a sincere what we can share, that we had very good connection with other people in military, and that we come to his concerts. So it shows, I think, that he kept his soul. His very cheerful soul there, and he was very liked there.
But also it's good that I think it's good for them to meet real people, because all their life they were either surrounded by people from musical world or by fans.
Behind the screen.
They idolize you, but actually they idolize your persona, not you, because they don't know you, but they kind of make claims that if they know you, and they make comments.
We know. We're so well known.
But then they had to spend 2 years with just people. So I think it's also, I don't know if they find new friends, but at least to have this like more reality around them could be beneficial.
It's kind of, I think, like withdrawing to monastery, I think, even though you can talk and everything, but I think the contrast, what life they had, is, I think, especially because you're so disconnected with social media, which was such a tool we used so intensively. And I think, it's in a way of monastery. The structure, I think, was not foreign for them because we had such a tight schedule, tight structures, like exercising and rehearsing all the time. So I think it wasn't, very familiar for them. But the rest, as you say, like real people, and it's soon we are all coming up. So
it's a week.
So then we will have to make another podcast.
So my question is, what are your predictions for what will happen when they will reunite with us? Are there some things that you would think, now this will happen?
Well, if I had a magic glass ball which would tell this future, but I'm actually a bit worried. I don't know what. I feel worried. I think we definitely will make concerts and we will make some world tour. But I can predict that probably I won't be able to participate. Okay, no, we can... Okay, we can talk about this later. But I don't want to tell that out loud, but I think that we might have a world tour and then we just start with solo careers. That's what I think. What do you think?
I think what will happen, not in the musical sense, but in life sense, that at least one of them will either marry very soon or will go open dating someone. Man, woman, doesn't matter which gender, which sex, but they liberated already this musical world or K-pop world. Even they are not K-pop. I think that they are much more than K-pop, but they are liberating this musical world from many things. And I think there's this obsession with celibacy of idols is one thing that is very unhealthy in the culture, and I think it's so traumatizing for young performers. And I think now they are so they're in the 30s almost, not everyone, but they are grown up men, and they are powerful because they also control money, and they are participating in the organization of their company, and even they are very sensitive about not making scandals. But I think this is what they would do. I don't know which one would do that, or probably just will tell, I've been dating for 2 years this person. They would maybe not show this person, but they would try to normalize. I don't know why I think what I think about that.
I'm curious to see. And when you started to tell that, I already was thinking, I wonder which one, because it doesn't sound unrealistic for me. I kind of agree with you. I'm just starting to think which one. Can it be Jungkook? All of a sudden Jin, because he first came out from ARMY and had a lot of different cooperations.
I don't think. I think Jin is still a very secretive person.
In that sense. Yeah. But Jungkook likes to shock people. Yeah. So he's
he already normalized smoking. So.
Sleeping and whatever. He is the kind of. I think he likes to do that, to shock people.
So my last question.
I feel very honored. I'm the guest of this podcast and you're caring about my opinion.
No, but do you think they will come to Europe? Because if you look at the tours, the solo tours, they almost never hit Europe.
Come on, we should. I think we should. Maybe just one city. But I can imagine just in their place, it's very hard to choose because they can go to whichever country.
Yeah, and I understand that Europe for them is a lot of small countries. Every country has their own the structure of entertainment, and it's difficult. And there are not that many huge places where to. But so if Europe, then which country do you think? This is about forecasting.
If it was a V decision, then it would be France.
Or Spain, maybe, no?
Maybe, but I feel like he has a lot of French vibes. I don't know then if it can be other country. Would be wonderful if it was Poland, because it's definitely a lot of stadiums in Poland. Come to Poland.
Come to Poland if you're now 97 years old, but you already...
Then come to Lithuania.
But you already have this time machine, so go to the 2025 and then come to Poland.
because it's so close to Lithuania.
Okay, so next podcast will be after the reunification.
Yes, when we already will gather the material. It's very interesting. Very interesting. So we are closing. We're closing Hotel Seoul.
But closing just awaiting and expecting this grand opening.
Yes, for a lunch break.
Lunch break.